Hello, hello! Welcome back to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus. I'm so glad you could join me here today. This episode is all about our shifting emotions. There are days when we all feel happy, cheerful, full of life. And then there are days when we feel down in the dumps like the whole world is against us. And therein lies the beauty of emotions. They're all transient. They can easily be shifted from one to another. It's all about our intentions and what we really do want to feel. We see all kinds of people around us. Some people are always cheerful. You see them smiling, happy, joyful. And then you see some people who look and seem emotionally low, sad, like the whole world's weight is on their shoulders. It doesn't mean that the cheerful people have an easier or happier life than the ones who aren't. It's just that these people have figured out a way to shift from feeling low to feeling high once again, quickly and in an efficient way. And today I'd like to share some of the ways in which I make myself shift from feeling low, feeling sad, feeling depressed and helpless to feeling hopeful, happy, joyful, loving, friendly. Life is not about never having negative thoughts or never feeling emotions that drag you down. We all go through that. But the magic is in how quickly and smoothly we bounce back into the feel good emotions and let go of the ones that bring us down. Feeling good is a daily conscious practice. When we feel low, just having a clear desire to feel better, to feel good, that itself is half the battle won. There is an immense power in our intentions, and having trust in that power and clearly stating that yes, I want to feel good, I don't want to feel this way anymore, help me, putting it out there into the universe, that really is a magical thing. All our thoughts, all our emotions, they are rooted in just two things. Whatever you're feeling either stems from fear or it stems from love. And it's important to recognize where each of your thoughts or your emotions are coming from. And there's a simple way to do this. Everything that feels good stems from love, and everything that doesn't feel good stems from fear. The first step is to recognize what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And to do this, you need to constantly be in tune with your thoughts and feelings. After this, it should be a simple thing to take little baby steps to work on shifting these feelings from ones that don't serve you to ones that are really good for you. When we feel negative emotions like sadness, anger, hurt, betrayal, we often tend to suppress them or ignore them. But it is extremely important for us to acknowledge that we are feeling this way and honor these feelings, to feel them, so that it'll be easy to gently and effectively release and let them go. It is important to release emotions, but in a very healthy way. There is venting and there is wallowing. Wallowing just takes you in a spiral. If you're just thinking of all these angry thoughts and then adding to them and then adding to them and feeling worse and worse and worse and worse, you just go down this spiral of sadness and anger and all these fearful emotions, and that just doesn't serve you. Then there's venting. You can do this either by talking to someone, but then you run the risk of throwing your negative emotions at them, right? So the first way to vent is to vent it out yourself. Take a piece of paper, write down all the feelings, all these negative emotions that you're feeling, all these thoughts that you're having. Write them out without censuring yourself in any way. And then once you're done writing everything, it makes your heart feel really light, like you've released all your burdens onto this piece of paper in which you've written everything down. Then, don't read what you've written. Just take the paper, tear it up into little tiny bits, and if you can, burn it and then flush the ashes down. That's it. This is a great and healthy way of releasing all the emotions without really hurting anybody around you. So once you've done this, you create this space within you, this emptiness within you, and then you can move on to filling this space with joyful, happy thoughts and good feelings. Humor is a kryptonite to any fear-based thoughts or emotions. Never underestimate the power of a good, solid laugh or even a small little giggle. Not taking yourself too seriously, that really helps. Keep yourself open to the humor, to the funny side of any situation, and the universe will support you. There was this one time where I was feeling terribly betrayed and I was feeling sad and angry and helpless. I felt used, like, oh my God, I did so much for this person and then this person has used me and betrayed me, and then I was going in this anger spiral. I was riding in an Uber. I found myself indulging in this anger spiral and in these negative thoughts. Negative thoughts will come. You can't control them. But what you can control is adding to these negative thoughts. But I just allowed myself to add more negative thoughts, add more angry thoughts, and just went on and on and on and on in my head in a cycle. And then this song started playing in the background. It's a Kannada song. And it's this guy who's fallen in love with this woman who he has helped. And then she ends up falling in love with somebody else. It's kind of a silly movie, but the song went on about how he was drawing a comparison between a parrot that he loved and cared for and made it into a nice, beautiful grown-up bird, and then suddenly the parrot turned into a hawk and then pecked him and flew away. The moment the song started, initially my tendency was, yes, this is what happened, and I also did so much for this person, and then this person has betrayed me just like this parrot who turned into a hawk, and all these silly thoughts that come into the mind. And then I suddenly stopped and realized what I was thinking, and I could hear the universe asking me loudly, being melodramatic much? And then I just burst out laughing. I was just laughing at myself and how I was blowing things up simply because I was taking myself and the situation way too seriously and giving it a lot more power than it deserved. And then I laughed a lot and I immediately felt better. When you are open to seeing the funny, humorous side of things, there is universal support, and you will, when you look for it, you will find something to laugh about in almost any day-to-day situation. And then once you start laughing at things, you start laughing at yourself, in fact, not in a derisive way, but more laughing at yourself with love. It becomes really easy and it becomes a natural habit, and after a point you don't need to try to find humor anymore. It'll automatically crop up and really ease the situation. Some of the best stand-up comics or comedy actors, the best ones I've seen are ones who speak about their past pain and who share their difficulties but then throw a very humorous light on the whole thing, and they are always the most hilarious ones because yes, humor really helps you get through situations and see things in a very different, light-hearted way. Another habit to form is to recognize the good in the bad. How does this situation serve or benefit you? Even the most difficult, frustrating, irritating, annoying situations, if you stop and ask yourself how it is serving you, how it is benefiting you, you will find an answer there. And it's important to show gratitude for even the smallest good things in the bad and feel excited about them. So, shifting your emotions from anxiety to anticipation, that is a very powerful and important shift. My friend Alison Melody of the Food Heals podcast once said something very, very meaningful and something that stuck with me very, very deeply. She said, no matter what is happening around you, no matter what situation you're in, tell yourself, this is not happening to me, it is happening for me. Isn't that just beautiful? This is not happening to me, this is happening for me. With just those simple words, you are shifting from being a victim to someone who is receiving a gift. When things don't go the way you want them to, take a moment, take a deep breath, and then ask yourself, what glorious things does the universe have in store for me now? Honestly believe and ask this question. Believe that the universe is bringing something amazing. The only reason something was taken away from you is so that something new and wonderful and useful is being brought to you into your life. And asking this question, what glorious things does the universe have in store for me now? It helps you move from a feeling of anxiety to a feeling of anticipation. When we lose something or someone, or when things aren't going the way we had hoped they would, whether it's a broken heart or a broken relationship, a failed business, or anything else, all we need to do is step back and honestly ask ourselves this question. If it was a person we lost, how was this person holding me back? If it was a business or something else that went away and you wanted it so badly, ask yourself, okay, being in that business or in that situation or in that relationship, how was that actually holding me back in life? And what did I stop myself from receiving or enjoying because I was in that situation? The answer will always show up. If you really honestly ask yourself the question and open yourself sincerely to get the answer. And most of the time, the answer is pretty simple. It's actually freedom. There are many, many situations in life that we put ourselves in where we voluntarily give up our freedom to be or do something. And then when we lose these people, these situations, we realize that suddenly there is the freedom to do this other thing or be this other person that you wanted to be, simply because whoever you lost or whatever you lost isn't in your life anymore. When something is taken away, it means that the universe is creating space for something new, something useful for the next steps in your life. And feeling grateful for this, showing gratitude, that really, really helps to make that shift moving forward into the next part of your life. So let's go back through the process so far. When we're feeling emotions, thoughts that are rooted in fear, that don't serve any good purpose in our lives, the first thing is to recognize that we're feeling these emotions and thinking these thoughts. And then making a clear, conscious intention that we want to feel good and we want to feel better and we don't want to feel like this anymore. And then the third step is to acknowledge these feelings and emotions, allow ourselves to feel them, and then release them in a very, very healthy way so that it doesn't hurt anybody else in our life. After that, trying to find the humor in the situation, trying to find things to laugh about, not taking ourselves too seriously. Then, finding things to be grateful for in the situation and wondering why this has happened and what better things the universe is bringing to you. How whatever it was you lost was holding you back, and therefore what good things are going to come in to help you move forward in life. After going through all these steps, we can finally work on uplifting ourselves. You can do something really, really good, loving, caring for yourselves. So basically, show yourself some TLC. Being kind and loving to our own self is the most important thing, because when we love ourselves and when we care for ourselves, we put the message out there into the universe and to people all around us that we deserve to be loved and to be cared for. So do anything to uplift yourself. It could be something as small as eating a little piece of chocolate or drinking a cup of coffee. But yes, with food, keep them carefully in your arsenal and use them effectively in small quantities without getting addicted or completely dependent on these foods. Then go do something that will make you happy. Either meditating or dancing or going out for a walk. Anything that you feel will make you feel happier and lighter. And another thing to do is to help others. There's a saying that goes, when you can't help yourself, help others. So yes, there is a lot of joy to be found in making others smile, laugh, in making others feel good. And these are just some of the ways you can uplift yourself. There are so many other ways to do it. But make sure you're consciously taking time out to take care of yourself and uplift yourself. Once this is done, then there is only up from there. You can only keep adding better and better, happier emotions, happier thoughts, happier feelings, and you have successfully shifted your emotions from a low vibe frequency to a high vibe frequency. So remember, feeling good is a conscious daily practice, and it's not as hard as we think it might be, and it doesn't depend on others, it doesn't depend on external factors, it depends more on you. External factors can't be controlled, but the way you respond to them, the thoughts that you allow yourself to think, the emotions that you invite into your life, the good feelings, those are in your control. I would love to hear your thoughts on this podcast episode and your tricks and tips on how you shift from feeling low to feeling good. You can get in touch with me through Instagram at Veganosaurus or leave me a voice message here on Anchor. Just go to the show notes and you'll find all the links and details about getting in touch with me. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus and I'll be back next Tuesday. Talk to you soon. Bye.